am the business development manager at Chic Group, which is the Italian headquarter of Chic, an investment and management company based in many branches in China. And about myself, I've always been passionate about foreign languages and the Far East. So I just returned last year after spending 7 years in China. And I'm very passionate about networking, so I've always practiced it. So I'm very happy to be here and share some views with all of you today. Thank you.
Thanks, Valentina. So let's go to our presentation, and then immediately it will be your turn to talk. Okay, can you please confirm that you see my screen and that everything is okay so far?
Yes.
Okay, by the way, in the chat space, I would invite you to write some questions so that in the end, maybe we can go very fast through them, and we can see if we can, if all of us can share, I mean, some insights about that. So the good news is that in this world, everything is interconnected, and that there is a butterfly effect that is part of our lives. So even those people that maybe they feel that they are more introvert or that they are more shy, I would say, it is for sure that they already belong to different networks. We are born in a family, we become part of a community, and then we go to school. So it's almost inevitable, right? So it's not an issue because sometimes I hear people saying, I'm not that type of person, I cannot join this type of events, and then they forget that they already belong to different networks. And it's important to understand how to make better use of the networks where we belong, or what kind of other networks we can explore so that we can make career progress, or that we can enrich our lives. Because through the people that we meet in different contexts, I'm very much sure that with some of them, we will remain friends for a long time, just because of the fact that we will find some common points. It's impossible that in a group of people, you will not find anyone with whom to share something. So the point is, how can we make better use of these networks? Penguins, I really like them, and they are one of the best examples of how to live in a community and take care of each other. One of the most, let's say, basic values of networking is the diversity, and we should not be afraid of diversity. We should see it as a value and as a let's say, a factor from which to learn. We can learn a lot. Once upon a time, we used to live like this. Meaning that we used to live in small cities, and even today many people choose to live like this. The point is that in the developed, let's say, cities, nowadays, we kind of live like this. So here it's so easy to just have a walk and you go and do some shopping and you know everyone in a small city. Whereas the real challenge starts when you live in cities like that. So, for example, the right person for you to do business with could be 2 floors, above you, but somehow you need to connect. Somehow you need to build a relationship. Somehow you need to get to know them. Here I have highlighted the word mutually. So it's the process by which individuals build and maintain a professional network community. But I really wanted to emphasize the mutual aspect, meaning that we need to see a lot of win-win, and we need to see a lot of reciprocity in how we build the relationships with people. The purpose of networking is to meet like-minded people, share information, seek out business opportunities, develop your career, or grow your business. So it's it's really, let's say, big, the number of opportunities that can come out of networking. What about the activities? What is considered networking? Well, sometimes it is formal and sometimes it is quite informal. In big companies, for example, there are still people who think that the business development part is something that belongs only to the commercial department. Personally, I disagree with that. I think that the moment that you belong somewhere, you belong to a company, in our way, every one of us can be kind of the commercial department, meaning that all of us can connect. Of course, we need to respect the context. So if we happen to meet someone and they're having dinner with friends and so on, it's not that we will start doing our pitch, but we may give them our card and then tell them that we will do a follow-up the day after, or we may just forward the contact to one of our colleagues. So I don't know if you agree, but there is a big need to make a combination. So not to consider networking only as an activity that we do only at specific times of the year or during specific activities, but we should be more proactive and have this good, let's say, proactivity of connecting with people and being enthusiastic about what we do and how we could connect and what, most importantly, what we could do together. In the picture on the right, you see a team of people, and I have inserted it with the purpose, and the purpose is that sometimes we underestimate the value of our colleagues. So that one is about the internal networking that we can do inside the company. So to spend some more time to know our colleagues better, because who knows, I mean, life can change. We can do other projects in the future. Maybe we will create, as I said before, a strong friendship also in the future. So I think that sometimes people neglect that. So internally, they don't connect enough with their colleagues. What about the mindset and the planning? Why there is needed some planning behind networking? Because if we really want to do it in a structured and professional way, we will need to keep up with the right pace, and there are different things that are happening, and we should like you did, for example, tonight. You put it in the calendar, you dedicate some time to it, you prepared for it. Some of you, I know that they have prepared some brief presentations to share. So it's important to have the right mindset about planning in order to consider networking and to give the right importance to networking related to our, let's say, success. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, I would really invite you at this point to start reflecting on certain things. For example, what opportunities have you noticed for networking? So these notes are only for you and they serve only for self-reflection. So what opportunities have you noticed for networking? If there are, let's say, some events that come to your mind, if there are some networks that you have seen and that you would like to join, what benefits might networking bring you? So what are some of the things that you would like to get out of networking? Because having the goal very clear in our minds is very important. What experience, positive or negative, do you have of it already? And at this point, if some of you would like to share a brief story about that, we would be glad to listen to it. But it really needs to be something very brief about, let's say, a very positive experience or something that you want to share. Is there anyone who would like to mention something, an example, for example, or a case or something that happened in the past? Okay, you missed your chance. Let's go. Face-to-face networking. So let's talk about some tips that relate to physical meetings. Some preparation is always necessary. Maybe you will need some business cards, maybe you will need some brochures, maybe you know beforehand who are the important decision makers that are going to participate, so you have a very targeted approach and you know who you're going to meet. Arriving early is important so that you can also feel more comfortable. Networking one-to-one, this is especially important for those that feel a little bit more shy, so they would not feel very comfortable in front of many people. On the other hand, it's also very useful when you really want to talk about something important. So maybe you can just save time and manage your time and go and meet exactly the person that you need to meet. When you hesitate approaching people, you can just ask a favor from a friend to introduce you to. Sometimes we need to give our best. Maybe we didn't have the best of, we didn't have a very good day. Maybe something happened. Federica. So in order to give the best of you, in case that you know that you're going to meet someone and you need to be in shape, it's better to just go out of the room, refresh a little bit, take a break, take a breath, and then go on. So it's important to remind yourself that you really need to give the best of you. But sometimes it may happen that we are not experts or we know nothing about the topic that people are talking about. Then just listening carefully would be a good option, because people always appreciate a good listener. Open-ended questions help the discussion. So try to avoid asking questions that have just a yes or no as an answer, because then both people will stop talking. Overcoming the barriers of the lack of confidence, let's say. So it's not easy and it cannot happen in a day. But for tonight, I chose to go through, let's say, a model of values that a psychologist has created some years ago, because at least I really believe that through knowing ourselves, through knowing our strong points, through knowing something more about our personality, at least we will be clear with our own self about what we can give to a specific network. Why should, let's say, a team invite us to cooperate, or why should a network feel that we are giving a nice contribution? So what do we have to offer? And the rest of the presentation for a few minutes is going to be about evaluating our own values. So again, here you will have a chance to do some self-reflection. So what is important to you? This is the model. For example, there are some people that appreciate power. So they feel good only if they are in a position of power. Some people evaluate a lot achievement. So they are motivated through achieving things, achieving a goal. There are people that consider hedonism a big value, which means that they are rather selfish. They want to, which is okay. I mean, they want to enjoy life and they give importance to material things. Openness to change. There are people that are more prone to change and they feel a lot of self-motivation, and they, in order to continue being self-motivated, they need to be stimulated with new things. For example, self-directed people, again, talking about the same category, they tend to be the ones that want to explore the world. They change countries, they want to test their limits, they want to test themselves, they want to come into contact with new cultures. These are self-directed people. Motivation in them comes from within. They don't need somebody else to tell them, oh, wake up today in the morning and do this and do that. Self-transcendence. These are the people that in their heart, they have something that is very valuable to them, and is the whole planet, the universe, the well-being of everyone. And for them, this is important, and this is why sometimes they join, for example, environmental organizations and so on. Benevolence has to do with more or less, it's very similar to this value, but these people do not, let's say, spend all their energies for the planet in general, but they care about their family, their small community, so they channelize their energy to specific actions in their direct habitat, let's say so. And then there is the category of conservation. It's about people that appreciate a lot the tradition, the conventions, the history, what the ancestors have said, what are their values. Conservation, again, conformity. These are the people that feel comfortable and feel that they're in their consciousness, they're doing something good, only if they conform to the rules of the society and so on. In the same category, there is also the need and the value of security. These are people that really appreciate security. And since we are saying that all these are human values, it means that, of course, we shouldn't judge anyone. It's just about appreciating the diversity of how different personalities can consider, as we saw here, how they see the world. So this is important. Your role. So let's talk a little bit at this part about our role in a specific team. I would, because today we really don't have time, so I would recommend you to just have a look at the 9 Belbin roles. It is very useful, especially for the company world, where you can see what they are, what does it mean to have a specific role, and then you can self-reflect and see who you are in this map of roles, so that next time that you will want to join a new team, you will somehow be more aware of your strong points, of what you can offer. Another brief exercise, self-reflection exercise. Think of a time when you have felt pleased about something you have accomplished as part of a team or a similar group of people. This might be at work or in an educational setting, something to do with sport or leisure, or even a family activity. So as you see, the context can be quite various. What did you bring to the team that helped? So firstly, think about the context, and then something that you really feel good about, that it was your contribution. Was it a talent for getting the best out of others? Were you the one who spotted details that needed taking care of? Or was your contribution more about coming up with ideas than carrying them out? Because some people tend to be more like implementers. They are more target oriented. So after a meeting of 2 hours, for example, some people may feel quite lost and say, okay, what did we reach? Whereas somebody else, just because they have expressed themselves, they feel fine with the meeting. So the perspectives, the points of view can vary a lot. So this was just for you to take down some notes for yourself, as I said before. Well, a SWOT analysis always helps a company, for example, to see how they compete in the market, to see how they are positioned compared to other competitors, right, in a market. The second thing that is quite useful to do a SWOT analysis is the fact that through that you can formulate a strategy of action. So again, we can write down on our papers SWOT analysis, and in another moment that we will be comfortable and we will have enough time, we can start analyzing a little bit ourselves so that we can see what else needs to be improved. So that month by month, throughout the year, we can see some progress. Well, regarding the management of our presence in conversations, I really wanted to mention here as a keyword, personal branding, but because it is another totally, let's say it's another topic in itself, We will not go through it. Maybe we can go through it another time. But the point is, if we recognize and if we really appreciate some of the brands that we see here, the point is, talking about personal branding, how do we want to be imprinted in the minds of the people that know us, and especially of the people that do business with us, or family members or friends? So it can be quite interesting to see and to put ourselves in another perspective, in another point of view. So what do we do every day to build our own brand? What's the impression that we create in the mind and the heart of the people that know us? When they close their eyes and they think about us, what do they think? And it is our duty, it is our homework to build our personal brand every day. Then I would also like to share with you some moments of related to the elevator pitch, for a very simple reason that time and again we find ourselves in the position that we really need, in a very short way, to present ourselves in front of people and to present our idea, our project, our company, our activities. So at this stage, I would like, if it's possible, I know that it's not that easy, you know, it's not like pushing a button so all the beautiful ideas will come to your mind, I know that. But if you are taking some notes, then preparing an elevator pitch for yourself and then revising it, and then checking with other people that know you, if they understand, if they like it. For example, some of you may be a designer and maybe you are working as a freelancer. So at the moment that you will be in the right context to promote yourself, what do you say in 3 minutes? Maximum 4, maximum 5 minutes. But try to keep it 3 minutes, because of course people are not that patient. But the point is, what do you say to impress people in a positive way? How do you make yourself memorable? And of course, it takes practice. And this is why I'm also saying that feedback from other people is important. So does your grandma understand what you're saying? Does your friend understand what you're saying? So maybe you need to adapt your pitch depending on the context, right? And the people that are listening to you. But this part here, I would be very glad also to have a one-to-one with you, and I can dedicate some time to you if you want to revise your own pitch. And I will be the person that will listen to it, and we can practice a little bit in another moment, of course. So all this was about the one-to-one or better offline networking. What about the online networking? Well, one thing is for sure, that whatever is valid in the real world, whatever principle, whatever value, whatever step that we know is good to follow in the real world, should also be respected through online networking. So if we are gentle, so for example, if we are gentle and quite polite when someone is in front of us, it doesn't mean that just because the other person is here, we should hide or we should have another type of behavior, because it's still us. It is our online life or online footprint. So what do people see about us online is very important, because it says a lot about us as people in the real world. Of course, there is a whole world to manage, and it's not easy, and it's becoming more and more challenging and demanding. This is why there are some freelancers that they delegate even if they are only one person. And of course, in the case of companies, it has become a profession in itself, a role in itself. So it's not that easy to produce the right content every day, every week, and so on. But I'm just saying that for those of us that are self-employed, we need to really consider seriously, what do we share with other people online? How do we build our brand? And then there is LinkedIn, of course, talking about business networking. We can talk another time about how to make better use of LinkedIn. It was just a reminder to be relevant, reliable, and to create mutual value with the connections that we have. Blogging for networking purposes. In the end of the presentation, I will share some book covers with you, but I also promise that through your email address, because we have done the research beforehand, and we will send those ebooks to you in a PDF format. But one of the books regarding personal branding really pays a lot of attention to blogging. And those of you that feel that they have a talent in writing, then you can consider, if you haven't done it until today, you can consider starting your own blog, so that for networking reasons, when people go and check about you, they will not only rely on what they find about you on your Facebook and LinkedIn, but there will be a specific link that will show on Google, and it will show things that you have decided for yourself. And this is important. So the structure, what you want to share, your hobbies, your profession, and so on. Evaluating, sorry for the wording, evaluating your network. Well, this is about not continuing just being as part of a network because just out of a habit. The point is that sometimes we need to stop and we need to reflect and check if belonging to a specific network is really bringing some benefit to us, if it is worth continuing so we can keep doing, or maybe we have not explored enough the context where we live. For example, in Milan, there are plenty of networks that we can join. And of course, it's good to join a network based on a common value that you share with the other people, a common interest, so that it can be based on something that will endure the time, so that you can really start building long-term relationships with people. There is a notion, there is a concept that I really want to share with you that is called the networking disconnect. The networking disconnect happens every time where you see that there is a networking context. There are people maybe having something or with a glass of wine and so on. So they have invested and they have gone to a business networking event. But there is a problem. Everyone wants to sell. So this phenomenon happens every time where everyone goes to a networking event just to promote themselves. So they are so much focused on what they have to offer, what they want to sell, so on self-promotion, that basically they are closed to receiving, they are closed to accepting, they are closed to listening actively and to paying attention to the person that they have in front of them. And this is why the networking does not happen. There is a disconnection. The concept of social capital is something that, of course, is very important. And as you see, we don't talk only about connections, about important people that maybe we know, but social capital is considered everything that has to do with ideas, knowledge, information, opportunities, contacts, referrals, trust, confidence, friendship. All that package is called our social capital. So the question that we can ask ourselves is, well, at this point of my life, am I accumulating enough social capital? Because for the financial revenues, for that, okay, there are also experts in this group that will also present themselves later. And we know that we need also a specialist, right? We need an accountant and so on. We need a bank, let's say, consultant. It's okay. So we understand that money is important in life. But what about the social capital that takes time and it takes investment, it takes dedication from our part? So are we ready to dedicate, to invest? Are we ready to spend time and money for networking? Success is social. So when we say that, okay, he's a successful person, we shouldn't forget that no one is successful because of themselves. So we reach at a certain point and we manage to do certain things, definitely also because of other people. It could be talent, intelligence, education, effort, luck, but everything is connected to everything. So success is social, and we should be definitely grateful for whatever we achieve in life, because somebody else in a direct or in an indirect way helped or made a sacrifice so that we can reach something important in life. We are approaching the end of the theoretical part. But for me, it was important to share these notions with you. We should never forget the law of reciprocity. Giving means helping others achieve success. And this should be the rule number one in networking. So having the mindset of giving instead of immediately getting. The person who helps you will not necessarily be the person you helped. The old traditional notion of networking once upon a time was that of giving and taking. So I give you something and you give something back to me, one-to-one, and only in this direction. Nowadays, in such an interconnected world, it may happen that you may help someone and that someone helps another person, but you will never get to know that other person. It doesn't mean that you should hesitate or you should be reluctant to give to the first person that you are giving, because what matters is the impact that you have in general, regardless of the fact if those people will get to know you in life or not. That does not matter. The result is what matters. Success takes getting involved. So having an attitude of a kind of a lazy person that doesn't want to do the work, it's not the right thing that serves in networking. There are two approaches. There is the hunter's approach, where you go in a targeted way and you go and take what you want, and then there is the farming approach. And definitely long-term relationships take time, and we should be like farmers, having the right patience to wait for the fruit to come. In my personal experience, just to connect it a little bit to my own reality, I have always done some volunteering. So since I graduated, I've always been part of a company or have been self-employed, but I've never stopped doing volunteering, and I'm very happy about that. So volunteering is something that I just wanted to say as an example of good networking, because there is not, you don't have the stress of the company life. You are free to share ideas, you are free to contribute. And these are some of the networks that I have already participated in, and I have given my contribution. Okay, this is one of, it's just an example of a startup weekend. These are the books that I wanted to share with you. All these that you see are endorsements about the, let's say, the importance of this book about the topic of networking, give and take. And then there is branding yourself. And then there is the Bible of I would say, of networking, that is a little bit old as a book, but its value is not at all out of date. How to Win Friends and Influence People. And now it is your turn. So I would like to, I don't know if so far someone would like to say something, just for me to take a rest.
Caterina, hi.
Hi, Cecilia.
If you want, I can share one brief experience, positive experience that happened to me back in the days about networking.
Definitely. Cecilia, sorry, for those that don't know you, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Cecilia Vezza. I am a coordinator of and business development coordinator of TalentBank, which is related to Chic Group. So I am a fellow colleague of Caterina and Valentina, and nice to meet you, everyone. Thank you, Caterina, for this presentation, and actually you taught me also today that it's never too late to learn new things, and actually also sometimes experience can come to your mind while the other person is talking. So I am a little bit shy also, so sometimes I'm not ready to speak when I am asked to, but later on maybe I melt more. Actually, I was living in China some years ago, and I actually landed in a small city in the south of China. And when I arrived there, I didn't know anyone. And it was also very frustrating not to understand the language and not even to be able to read it, because Chinese is very difficult. It's not a Latin language, of course. But actually networking saved my life, because when I got introduced to the foreign community, it actually became a family. So it motivated me to live better, to work better, so actually that foreign community, not only made by Italians, but also by Chinese and other people, really it became a family. So it really saved my experience in China that could have been a total disaster, but actually it became a great and wonderful.
Was it, Cecilia, sorry to interrupt you, but was it because of the context of your work, or you joined the networking event? So what exactly was the context?
It's both, actually. I met people because of my work, but I also had to fight my shyness, and like Valentina shared in the chat, I went to several events when I met people outside of work. And it was amazing, because I never thought that I could have the possibility to meet so many nice people. And in a contest like living abroad, it's really important, because those people become a network of friendship, but also of work. But because those people can actually give you opportunities of working in other cities, they can help you with your current work, because maybe they work in places where that happen to be helpful for the job you are doing. So you also connect them to your boss, and you make things go around. And actually, some of these people are currently my friends now. So I think this is a great part of the networking experience: friendship and work.
So even those that hesitate at the beginning, somehow they need to take the initiative, right?
Yes,
they need to break the ice and go ahead.
It's actually, the events can really break the ice, even if you are by yourself, because it's it's really important. Of course, maybe it's easier when you're abroad, because you're a little bit forced to. But also in Italy,
and you don't know anyone anyway, so it's fresh grass.
It's exactly that. But I suggest this experience to, the networking positive experience to everyone who may be a little bit shy like me, but it can actually turn out to be great.
Great. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
I would like to go to, I think it's Andrea, the one in the list, the first in the list. I've met Andrea some time ago when he booked a session of introducing himself and also knowing something more about TalentBank. And I don't know if Andrea is online.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Okay. Good evening to everyone. I'm Andrea Pasetti and I'm a mechanical engineer with a specialization in mechatronics and robotics. So I'm passionate about robotics, and during my master degree I have carried out really nice project about robotics. You can see the first one there in the first picture is my first robot. I have done this with a team of people and during a class challenge. It has even a name, it's called Prank, and it was a quite extravagant robot, I would say, but in the end it was working well, I think. And now I'm working as a process development engineer in a Bosch plant here in Italy. And so I take care of the industrialization of new products. And also I have some project about Industry 4.0 and collaborative robotics, and some others about, for example, 3D printing. 2 years ago, I went to China for doing my master thesis. And here I totally fell in love with the Asian culture, in particular with the Chinese culture. So I started learning Mandarin Chinese. I took this occasion because I think a new language is always helpful, and also to be oriented in this new country. And I'm still carrying on the study of Mandarin Chinese. I think it's a really amazing language. During my free time, I like to travel because I think it's a really important and is a chance for personal enrichment. So I like to talk with people, understand their point of view. I like to understand the habits, and so in general travel and get to know different cultures. And during my free time, also I like to do sports, cooking. I really love to cook, not just Italian food, but also of other cultures, and playing guitar.
Now I'm seeing everyone. Sorry, Andrea, to interrupt you, but
okay.
I wanted to see who is in the chat, who is in the meeting. So sorry to interrupt you, Andrea.
Okay, no problem. And okay, so there under my picture, you can see my context. So I would like to have you all of you in my LinkedIn network.
Great, great. Something specific about networking, Andrea? If you have joined the club, something?
Yes. For example, in my company, I have found a 3D printing that no one was using. So I have started using this 3D printing for some production related projects. But I didn't know anything about 3D printing. So there in Bosch there are these centers that are called competence centers, which are centers around the world that are specific for different topics. And there is one in Germany and about 3D printing. So I have started to write with these German colleagues. They have introduced me some other colleagues in Italy that are doing the same. So now we are sharing information, and in the end, I think, so the project is going on. I'm still not a professional in this field, but anyway, I enjoy to learn new things. So I think it was a positive example of networking.
Great. Thanks for sharing. Does anyone have a specific question for Andrea? If not, then we go to our next speaker, that is Jasmine.
So hi everyone, and nice to hear. Thank you, Caterina, for your presentation, and also to Andrea for introducing himself. I'm Jasmine. I'm currently a financial consultant, a senior consultant at EY, Ernst & Young, in Milan. So I deal with business modeling and corporate valuation, both for multinational and Italian companies, public and private companies. And I'm currently in Trieste because of a COVID situation, so I can work from here. But I'm still connected, let's say to Milan. And how I get to EY. Let's say I have a kind of different path because I've started studying international relations. I wanted to become a diplomat, so and work in the international environment, more or less like the princess Jasmine, in which I identify not because of the princess but because of her path. I mean, she wanted to explore the world and go outside, so this is why I started studying something international at the beginning, and then I decided to move to something more quantitative and move to economic faculty. And I have a master's degree in international management. And during my studies, I had the chance and the luck to travel a lot. I lived in 6 different countries across Europe and Asia for studying and for work. So I live before in Romania, and then close to Brussels in Liège. But the most challenging experience were the one from Asia. I did an internship in India. Then I moved to China for 6 months, which was the more challenging experience. And then I spent part of my time in Singapore. So I had the chance to know the chance to know better Asia and to move across China. These are 2 pictures. The second one is me traveling around China when I was studying there, and the first one is from my Alma University in China, in Shanghai. This was the kind of motto for the students: so to dream, to be always convinced, and to put love in everything you do, and passion in everything you do. Then I come back to Italy, and with this kind of strange path, how I got to finance in EY. It was thanks to networking, and it was also thanks to mentoring, and this is also why I feel I totally relate to networking activities, because thanks to networking and mentoring, I had the chance to design my path after having studied something kind of different, because I've started studying international relations, then I moved to international management, and then when I was studying at the master, I was convinced of working in finance, and so I had to say, I said, should I go back and study another master in finance, or should I leverage the competence I have? I had 1.5 years of studying finance, but still in Italy, all the positions were very kind of focusing on 5 years of studying finance, and then instead I discovered, thanks to networking and thanks to a mentor, that I can leverage of a kind of different practical experience in finance, because I did the majority of my exams in finance abroad, where beside the books, we were engaging in practical activities and practical case studies with companies and with consulting societies. So I had something more than maybe other kind of Italian students. And this was thanks to networking and thanks to mentoring. I started university, which I was a super shy student. Then I relate to what Cecilia before was explaining and was telling us. So I joined some university volunteering organization like IASEC, and I'm glad, Caterina, that you also were part of IASEC. I didn't know that. And then in IASEC, I started to know the benefits of networking and knowing people. Some of my best friends now are from that organization. Now I was in a call this morning with a friend who just started a company, and I know her from IASEC. So I started everything by just by networking and volunteering together, just by knowing people. And now and this morning she called me to have some consultancy because she's starting a company and she wants to know to do the part of budgeting with me. And then Mentors for You is another network. I am part 4. I am an ambassador for Mentors for You, which is an Italian organization delivering mentoring, totally free mentoring paths to young students and young graduates. And I'm in charge of some events for the Triveneto area. So with also my with my university from Trieste and from Trento University. And thanks to Mentors for You, I moved to Milan, and I had the kind of the job I wanted to start with my career in finance. And now I am helping young students and I'm mentoring young graduates to find their path. And I find daily inspiration in TEDx events, and that it also
we also need to get motivated, right? So in order to give motivation, somehow you need to have your sources of motivation.
Exactly. And I find motivation in TEDx, TED Talks, and that is also a good networking event, especially if you are shy, because you can open up with other people as much as you want, because if you want and you are too shy, you just go there and listen. But if you want to network, it's a very good opportunity. And I've met a lot of entrepreneurs from Veneto area going to TEDx events in Treviso, Cortina, and Padua. And then also they offer some kind of seminars and for networking, and they offer many opportunities. And but as Caterina before was saying, it is important to choose our network and the focus of our networks. The more I grow in my company and then finance sector, women at typical position in finance are less than 20% in Italy. So I started to join women empowerment networks and networks which helps build the female leadership. So these are some of the network. Caterina is also a leader in Lean-In Italy. I met Caterina thanks to Lean-In, and I met some of my dear friends thanks to Lean-In. Another is Young Women Network, and then there is Professional Women's Network, which is a more global organization. And to wrap up this, the main ideas I wanted to share about networking and mentoring is that thanks to networking and thanks to mentoring, I had the chance to totally change my mindset from asking, can I do something, to why not? How do I do something, instead of asking me, can I do something? And it all started with IASEC, and then with all the mentoring and networking activity I was part of. And just last one, thanks to Lean-In, for example, when I was in Singapore and I was living in Singapore, I had the chance to connect and attend Lean-In events in Singapore, and that is also part of that was also a great add to the social capital. I mean, because I connect with very talented people in Singapore.
Great, great. I would invite you, I mean, the rest of the participants to ask questions to Jasmine. Now that she cannot escape this call because she's already in. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to talk.
Yeah, contact me later. We can have a talk more than. I'll be more than glad to be in touch with all of you. And and thanks, Caterina, for the opportunity.
Thank you too for joining and for sharing this nice experience. It's because it's a lot of work. The logos that we see here mean a lot of events, getting prepared, taking the bus. It's a lot of investment, and it's great to when you see that one beautiful day, bit by bit, the work that you've done gradually, it really gives very tasty fruit, and it's important, and to be a good and positive force for other people. So thank you, Jasmine. And now we go to a dear friend of mine. He lives in Milan. I haven't seen him recently. And how we met is through a networking event. And this is Mikhail. Welcome, Mikhail.
Hello. Hello. Hello, guys. So first of all, I'd like to thank Caterina for organizing this beautiful event with these wonderful people that you are. And I think we need more events like this in these times that we are isolated and suffering. Because if you are here, for me, that means that you are eager for networking, and mostly you are eager for networking in person. And that's how me and Caterina know each other, because she came at one of my events that I organize with Milano International Business Networking. And we chatted a little bit.
On Meetup. For those that have not downloaded the application yet, it's very useful, and you can be selective. You can choose those groups that you really like joining. And then I saw, so there were two keywords that resonated with me, and it was business and international, and of course networking. So can you tell us something more about that experience, like how you took the initiative, and how has it been for you so far? And also what you do in your life apart from networking.
Yeah, what I do in my life, you can see in this picture. So on the chess, you can see all of my projects that I'm following right now. And me, who is trying to make sense of all of it. And it's going pretty good, I must tell. And networking is essential, because your success is not defined by yourself, and everything you do is not defined by yourself, but it's defined by the people you are surrounded by. So the king is not defined by himself, but by its surrounding, its court.
How can people join your business lunches, Mikhail? Do you continue?
Well, we will continue in 2021, and they can. Yeah, sure. They can contact you, of course, and join you in all of our events, or they can find us on Meetup application.
So,
or search.
So the group is called.
Search for Milano International Business Networking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you have any question, guys, just come at me.
I have a question. Can I?
Yes,
yeah, sure.
Yes, I have a question. Mikhail, you said you organize so many networking events, etc. Could you make us an example that you met a person in this networking events, and then this person helped you in a personal or professional experience or situation? If it comes in your mind, of course.
Sure. Well, I have many, but I'd like to cite two in particular. One of most important persons in my life that I've met in these networking events is my lawyer. So it was very useful for a lot of situations. So I met this girl, this woman, in one of my networking events. Her name is Costanza, and she helped me a lot. And one of the reasons she helped me a lot, even on the personal side of things. So I became her client, but like with a lot of discounts and stuff. But there was a relationship that we built, you know. And the other person is Francelia. She's a lawyer also, but she launched this startup, and we did the startup together. So I met a business partner in one of these networking events. Yeah. So we are on this endeavor together. And these are two most important people, you know, in my life right now. But I can cite so many. Well, I can cite even Katerina, which is always present, and she is always doing these events, creating this movement, giving the value to the community. So yeah.
Nice.
It's up to you. If I get your question right, is how can I transform the situations into the relationships? That was your questions, really.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
that comes to this comes with experience. Yeah, this comes with experience and with you giving the value and perceiving the value, because sometimes the community is trying to give you something, but you are not open to this, you know. Okay, time's out. Thank you, Caterina.
Thank you both. And now there is Maria Giulia,
yes.
that also talked a little bit before.
Mm-hmm. Yes, hello everyone. Can you hear me? Yes, okay. I am Maria Giulia, and I am from Padua. I have moved in Milan 3 years ago, more or less, for my master degree in strategic communication that I have finished this summer. Now I'm in Milan, and I'm working in a multinational company in the HR department. And I'm here today because thanks to Caterina, of course, and she was my mentor during the experience in a Young Women Network. And I'm here because I really think the value of relationships and the networking. I have the proof with Caterina, but also if I think in my personal life, I have a lot of people in my mind, comes up in my mind, because thanks to connections, I had the possibility to live incredible experiences. So thank you, Caterina. Thank you, everyone, because yes, I'm really, really young. I'm starting, I'm 25, so I'm starting to build my network. And for me, it's really an honor to be here and being inspired by your careers. So thank you.
And it's a pleasure for us. Because I don't see everyone at the same time, please feel free to join and say something. So okay. Well, now let's go to Emanuele. Emanuele has a different profile compared to people coming from social sciences and international relations. And I'm giving the floor to him.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you, Caterina, for arranging these conversations. It's very useful.
So how can you be useful to us?
Yes, let's think about it. I'm a chartered accountant, but you know, it's the boring things. Everyone knows what
the
does
boring but important things.
Dottore commercialista. He does the tax returns and the financial statements, basically. And that's what most of the entrepreneurs and individuals think about Dottore commercialista. But I specialize in financial and tax planning. It appears that most of the individuals, families, and company, small and medium company, because big companies, fortunately, they do plan. But small and medium companies and individuals neglect, underestimate, don't spend enough time in planning. But it is correct or it is not correct. I mean, why we should spend time in planning? Where is the point? Planning is very important for just one single motivation, because planning is important to achieve your objectives. And if you go behind the boat and you see your chart, you see that before, far before you have filled out your logbook with the place where you are and the time and the distance you have done so far, you have taken your map and you have draw your route. You have tried to estimate the time to go from A to B. You make plan B and plan C, because if there is a thunderstorm, you will look in the map for far in advance, before you will look in the map for a safe harbor where to go to escape from the storm. And all these activities is not done, is neglected by most of the individuals and most of the families and most of the small and medium companies. So my objective is to improve this side of the administration of companies, basically, and also for families sometimes, and to help them to look at the future and not only to the past, basically. And probably not many of you will be interested in my activity with reference to company, to corporations, and so on.
But at least for personal finance, it's important to have a contact.
Personal finance is very important. Yeah. If you want to look deeper to these issues, there are a lot of publications from Italian supervisory boards like Consob, Banca d'Italia, COVIP, COSB, the supervisory board for the pension.
The point is how to make things simple. So for us that don't come from a financial background, what do you recommend? What should we do?
You can go to my website in the Strumenti page. There is a whole section where I collected these documents from Italian supervisory boards, supervisory authorities, that explain to the individuals, to families, how to use the instruments that can be helpful for each individual in their life, basically. This goes from how to plan the family finances, which is different from an insurance for damages with an insurance for a life plan insurance, which is the difference between pension funds.
So practical instruments that we need to know when we need to plan. And
also some legal instruments which are a bit more complicated, like maybe like trust, like a patto di famiglia, which is
So it really depends on the needs of every one of us. Thank you, Emanuele. Basically, this is the end of the official, in quotation marks, of the official presentations. For the ones of you that found some time and sent those presentations beforehand. But in fact, and he's going on with the wine, he's amazing. We will do the same in a while.
That started to
Now
rain
it is
2 hours ago.
so, thanks, Emanuele. So now is the turn of the rest of the participants. So whoever of you still wants to present themselves and say something and share an experience, we would be glad to listen to you and to your story. And we are okay because we still have 7 minutes left, but I just wanted to make sure that we are on time. I don't know if Martina also wants to say something.
Oh, yes. Hello, everybody. I'm Martina, and I'm a fresh graduate in international business. And as Maria Giulia was saying before, I'm starting building my own network. So I'm very grateful for these kinds of events because they are all great opportunities for me for, knowing talented people. And I've started my career in the sales and business development for fashion school based in Milan and also worldwide. And I found I realized the importance of networking while I was living abroad in China 2 years ago. And thanks to the networking, I've met important people that also made me develop and my passion for art. And thanks to networking, I started turning my passion also into a kind of job because I write for an art magazine. So this to say that networking is very important because they can you can find opportunities to turn what your passions and common passions are into work. So thank you everyone again.
Thank you too. Federica, you look very ready to speak.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute myself. Hello, everyone. First of all, it's really nice to meet all of you guys. And it was really interesting also to hear from all of your experiences. I see we have different backgrounds, but actually I also see some graduates in international relations like me and a lot of people who had experience in China like me, because I've also been living a couple of years in China. And also wanted to share, when Martina was talking, I was also thinking most of my networking experiences were actually in China. And that's where I actually found out the importance of networking. Not only for business purposes, it doesn't necessarily start for business purposes. Maybe it can turn into something that is related to business, but it can also be for fun. So I wanted to share just, apart from a business, an experience that was actually related to business, because thanks for being part of a network of professionals that work between China and Italy, I actually found my first job. So that was just through networking and having to meet people that actually work between China and Italy that I started my career. That was not a lot of time ago anyways, I only have 1 year experience anyways. But I wanted to share with you something funny that happened, fun more than funny, that happened to me thanks to networking in China. Because last year, 2 years ago actually now, I was in Beijing, and through networks of expats, I started meeting a lot of people from different countries. And basically one night we ended up drinking with the ambassador of Panama in Beijing. So that was crazy networking. That's where networking can actually bring you. It's not only also something really fun that you would not expect maybe to for you to happen, but so you can really live a lot of different experiences that can actually maybe bring to something else, or maybe just stop there but still be relevant and significant for you. So that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. And thank you very much for organizing, Caterina. It was really an interesting occasion to meet all of you. Thank you again. Waiting for the cheers.
Yeah, exactly. Is there anyone else who would like to say something, apart from the fact that your profiles are visible on the participants list, so you can very easily go and connect with the people who were today in this call? Just if you will visit again the link of the event on LinkedIn. So you go to the TalentBank page, you go to the events or to the post that we have shared, and then you just find everyone there. So if all of you agree, I mean, I'm very happy that this 2020 is finishing, finally. So I prepared myself a glass of wine.
There are 3 days, everything can happen still.
Psychologically,
so
we really need to pull ourselves together, to get motivated, to go on, and to find alternative ways of meeting like this one, because it's not healthy staying in an isolated way, and we really need to connect and to exchange ideas and experiences and life with other people. So happy New Year 2021. Hope to also meet all of you soon in person in Milan and have more wine together. So auguri.
Auguri.
Thank you. Cheers.
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 Cheers, everyone.
So I also just shared the website of Chic Italia for all of you that would like to get even more information, because I responded to Mikhail's message. So in the chat space, you will find the official website of chicitalia.it. And then if there will be other things that you will want to share, or if you will have questions and so on, please feel free to stay in touch. Valentina, you also look like you want to say something. No.
No, yes, I want to say, just to reflect on next year, because, you know, we are just about to end the year, and maybe this is a good occasion to think about how to do better networking in the next year. But of course, it's going to be very challenging, especially I think in the beginning. So if you have some suggestion for us for the next events, you can just get in touch with Caterina, and we can bring it forward. So don't hesitate to get in touch.
Great, thanks, Valentina. Okay, then time to say bye-bye, and thank you all of you for being part of this event today, and I hope that it has been useful, and keep in touch. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.